Hash the real reason behind the 1971 gold standard abandonment. In 1971, the world witnessed one of the most significant financial shifts in modern history, the abandonment of the gold standard by the United States. This decision, announced by President Richard Nixon on August 15, 1971, severed the direct convertibility of the US dollar into gold, effectively ending the Bretton Woods system. But was this decision merely a response to economic pressures, or was there a deeper agenda behind it? Let's uncover the real reason behind the 1971 gold standard abandonment and how it reshaped the global financial system. Try to 1. Understanding the gold standard. What was the gold standard? Before 1971, the US dollar was backed by physical gold reserves, meaning that for every dollar in circulation, there was a corresponding amount of gold stored in Fort Knox or other reserves. This system controlled inflation by limiting how much money could be printed, provided global financial stability since other currencies were pegged to the dollar, which was backed by gold, encouraged responsible government spending as money supply was restricted to gold availability. The Bretton Woods Agreement, 1944, solidified this system, making the US dollar the world's reserve currency, but cracks began to form in the 1960s. Chapter 2. The economic crisis leading up to 1971. By the late 1960s, the US faced severe economic challenges. 1. Massive government spending. The Vietnam War and social welfare programs under President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society drained US resources. 2. Trade deficits. The US was importing more than it was exporting, leading to a trade imbalance. Number 3. Declining gold reserves. Foreign nations, particularly France under Charles de Gaulle, began demanding gold in exchange for their dollars, depleting US reserves. Is the problem more dollars, less gold? The US had printed far more dollars than it had in gold reserves. Countries like France and West Germany started exchanging their US dollars for physical gold, leading to a gold drain. This created a financial time bomb. If the US ran out of gold, confidence in the dollar would collapse, potentially leading to a global economic crisis. Ashar 3. Nixon's shocking announcement. The 1971 Nixon shock. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon addressed the nation and announced three major policies. 1. Suspending the gold convertibility of the US dollar. 2. Imposing wage and price controls to combat inflation. 3. Placing a temporary 10% tariff on imports. This event, known as the Nixon shock, effectively ended the gold standard and transformed the US dollar into a fiat currency, one backed by government decree rather than a physical asset. But was this truly just a response to economic pressures, or was there a hidden agenda behind it? 4. The real reason behind the abandonment. While Nixon framed his decision as necessary for economic stability, many researchers argue that the real reason behind the gold standard abandonment was 1. Unlimited money printing power. By removing the gold backing, the US government and Federal Reserve gained unrestricted control over money supply. This allowed the US to fund wars, welfare programs, and economic bailouts without worrying about gold reserves. Tot 2. The rise of the petrodollar. In 1974, the US struck a deal with Saudi Arabia and OPEC. Oil would be traded exclusively in US dollars, the birth of the petrodollar system. This forced countries worldwide to hold and trade in US dollars, maintaining its global dominance even after leaving the gold standard. 3. Global financial control. The IMF and World Bank began pushing nations towards fiat currencies, giving central banks more power over economies. The US dollar remained the world's reserve currency, ensuring American economic hegemony. 4. A hidden elite agenda. Some believe the decision was influenced by elite banking families, like the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, to centralize financial control and create a system where wealth could be manipulated through inflation, interest rates, and debt. R55. The aftermath: inflation, debt, and economic manipulation. Since abandoning the gold standard, the global economy has experienced continuous inflation as governments can print money without limits. Seen rising debt levels, with the U.S. national debt soaring to over $34 trillion today. created financial bubbles and crashes, including the 2008 housing crisis, fueled by excessive money printing. Who benefits from the fiat system? Banks and financial institutions profit from debt-based economies. Governments gain more control over economic policies. Elites and corporations manipulate markets through inflation and interest rates. Conclusion? Was it really necessary? Um, the 1971 gold standard abandonment changed the global financial system forever. While it provided short-term stability, it also opened the door to unlimited debt and inflation, gave central banks massive control over economies, shifted wealth and power towards financial elites. Was Nixon's move truly for economic stability, or was it a carefully planned strategy for financial control? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into hidden economic truths.